This is your WW3 news. The myths and the stereotypes on EVs. Canada. There was a study regarding this thing, and I have studied 22,000 vehicles of all types and all brands. The battery degradation is around about 1.5% every year. And if you do that on a rapid charge, or supercharge as they call it, the degradation it's 2.5 every year of the battery, its capacity to hold a charge. And probably after 8 years, it will come to 76% the capacity. You can charge it, but you always have to charge it from a minimum 20% to a maximum 80%, which, you know, is ridiculous. So you charge it and you got 100% charge, and the range is that which is declared by the manufacturer of the vehicle. But the range is not the way it's been said by the manufacturer. It's a lot less, because you've got to take in consideration how many electronic things you got on board at that moment, type of road which you do, whether there's a hill or a mountain or whatever, environmental conditions, whether it's hot or cold, because in hot weathers, the battery degradation is at 0.5 more on the battery degradation through its charging cycles. And plus, when you in a cold weather, you lose already 20% of the battery charge, so you're limited. Your mileage or kilometers range, which on that charge you move around with. And obviously every time you charge it, it goes down a little bit, but you won't notice it. But there is software on board these devices which are more better management of the battery cycle itself. But like on your smartphone, the same thing is. The problem is the costs of these vehicles and its range, until they do not improve on the battery technology, because physically speaking, you can't squeeze blood out of a stone, basically. That's what they want to make you believe. There's this new battery technology, that car company done 600 miles on charge or 1,000 miles. It's impossible. You only can get that type of range with a petrol or diesel engine, or with a dual fuel system, whether it's petrol with GPL, or diesel with methane gas, natural gas, you should say. And obviously you've got these hybrid cars. They're seeing they have to respect a certain regulation on emissions. Those 3-cylinder engines, they wear out before time than a 4-cylinder standard engine, because has to respect the emission levels, has to basically, the petrol has high compression ignited inside the cylinder than your traditional car, whether it's in the Euro 4 or Euro 5. And therefore, there's a lot of electronics inside. You have less horsepower. And slowly these cars go slower in respect to their traditional 4-cylinder engines. Hybrid, they say, is another scam, because when you go with electric motors on a hybrid, they say 100 kilometers, 150. Some say even there is technology for a hybrid which does 200 on a hybrid charge. But the difference is from a hybrid and electric. Okay, it has a petrol or diesel engine, and while you run, whether it's petrol or electric, it recharges itself, the batteries, which is an advantage over a full plug-in electric. When a full plug-in electric goes flat, the nightmare to get to the nearest charging station. You don't know in that moment if someone else has got undercharged a vehicle, or you find it broken. You know, you find it in car parks, supermarkets, in front of public places like railway stations, hospitals, or whatever. There are very few, because the fact is, if it's a private company that's going to invest in these type of charging points, it's a loss from the beginning if you throw in capital to do these charging points, or even a charging station. There is no profit, otherwise you have to charge more for kilowatt hour of charging. For the time being, let's say at home, it's convenient. Slowly, electricity companies seeing the number of EVs. There's been a so-called light boom in purchase of these vehicles, and obviously the electricity demand has shot up. And there's a company in United Kingdom say maximum 6 hours you can charge it. Obviously, and that household is attached to a smart meter, and the smart meter will just cut out for that. As for public charging, you can even rev up to 90 cents a kilowatt hour, but the future is going to cost even more. And obviously the application of some type of road tax and government incentives on these vehicles are slowly disappearing, because what the government gives, it wants back. And it's not always right. Petrol and diesel owners pay the price for people to have incentives to buy an EV. Mainly, they're not middle class people, they are more well off people. You don't see middle class people buying an EV. The cost is prohibitive, and even where you live, most people live in a city. Most people don't have garages, or you're just going to throw electricity cable from the apartment window and charge your car. It's absolutely ridiculous. Lack infrastructure, which needs huge investments, which its benefits absolutely miserable. And also the battery technology, you can't cram in so much capacity, high density capacity. You can squeeze a little bit, but not more than that, really. And plus, even if the battery on your car lasts up to 8 years, obviously the electronics on board, they age, and even the software, and even that begins to play up. And obviously the recalls of EVs, for example, Volvo and Mercedes on their high range EVs. They say it's a problem with software. It's a problem with the defects of the batteries itself, because obviously it goes through complex recharging cycles and stuff like that. Minimum defect, the whole thing is thrown away. That's why they cost so much. And even they're delicate things as well. You can easily damage one of these things on the road. Cracking its protective thing, you have to change a whole battery pack. And obviously our modern roads have been like the roads of Africa, full of potholes.